Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to use the hole command and create different kinds of holes. So here we already have our object. You'll see there's already center points placed on here. They've already done one hole in here already, and it is a blind hole, so it doesn't go all the way through. So we're going to go ahead and use our hole command. Now you'll notice it automatically selects those center points, which is fine, except in this case we don't want all of those things on there. So if we hold the control key down and we simply deselect all but one of those center points, the first one we're going to do is called a countersink hole, so or a counter bore hole. Sorry. So we're going to go through. We're going to switch our template here to counter bore. Our large size is going to be 0.75. Our distance down for that larger hole is going to be 1/4 of an inch. And then our smaller hole is going to be 0.375. And for this leftover piece here, we don't actually have to calculate it because we've already said the termination, it's through the entire thing. So it will do the math and take the 1/4 inch off and figure out how much further this hole has to go through. So if we click apply, you'll see we have that. If you clicked OK, it'll close the window. You'll just have to hit the hole command again. Again, I want to go ahead and click with my control key held in place, click those center points. The next one I'm going to do is a countersink. So if we go down here, it's the bottom one. The countersink allows us to have the same taper as like a screw head. So that way if you want the screw head to be flush to the surface that you're screwing it into. So for this, we're going to go ahead and keep that 1/4 of an inch down. We are also going to change our degree. So instead of 82, we're going to go 83. And for the center hole part, we'll go ahead and keep it at 0.375. So if we go ahead and click apply again, now we have our counterboard hole, or countersink hole. For the next one, we're going to do what's called a threaded hole. So it's going to be a regular hole. We'll go and deselect that other one. But we essentially want it to have threads. So threads are essentially what bolts tighten into in this case. So we're going to tap this hole virtually. So what we need to do is we need to know, well, as we go through this, we want to go ahead and set the diameter size, or essentially the thread size. So we're going to switch the thread size to be 1/4 of an inch. And this is via ANSI standards. So ANSI is American National Standard Institute, and that's just the standard by which all bolts and threads are essentially cut. So you'll see that the thread type is 1/4 of an inch, and it's 20 UNC, which simply means it's 20 threads per inch. And UNC stands for Unified Natural Coarse. So it's a coarse thread. There's two kinds of settings. There's either coarse threading or there's fine threading. So this is simply a coarse thread. We're going to switch it to a 1B class. For this one, this is kind of a glitch in the 2014 software. So if yours is newer, this may no longer be here, but you can actually specify the distance of the threads. If it says through all, your threads should go through all as well. But in this case, we're going to go ahead and put 2 inches, so that way it goes all the way through, and then we can simply click apply. And you'll see kind of the image of threads on the inside of that hole there. For our last one, we're going to do what's called a clearance hole. So this is our clearance hole. So for our size, we're going to do 0.531 inches. And the idea behind a clearance hole is it's supposed to allow space. So if you were bolting multiple pieces together, you might have a bolt sliding through this piece and then threading or tapping into another piece. So just, you don't have to apply threads to it, but there's a bolt head that's going to slide through it, so we want it to be maybe just slightly larger than the edge of the threads of our bolt. So we simply apply our clearance distance, simply click OK, and then there's our clearance hole. You can do a lot of these things in simply creating sketches and extrusions. There are some benefits to creating it with the hole command. Sometimes it can be quicker. The other thing is that when you go to dimension things, the dimensions are carried through from how you used your hole command. So it really is to your benefit to use the hole command as you go through and set these up.